All right, out and about. Beautiful day here in sunny Ballarat. Anton Golino. Hello, mate.
G'day, Paul.
How's it going?
Good.
It's lovely weather here. Everyone says Ballarat weather's terrible. It's just sensational. It's a little bit muggy in Bendigo, but it's a beautiful day here at the minute.
Yeah, God's country.
God's country. You can say that. Thought I'd catch up. I'm doing a couple of things across the road with the yearlings, and we must remember that the yearling sales are on, especially for Haras Trotters and Yabby Dams on April 3rd at Oaklands Junction for a new trend. There'll be a lot of stuff going on with that over the next couple of months, and it's very important. Equally as important is the racing side of things, and I thought I'd catch up with you. I've been trying to do one of these with I'm Ready Jet for a little while, and got the right opportunity. Everything sort of worked out the right way to have a bit of a chat about how she's been going.
Yeah, I've been trying to duck you.
You and I are both a little bit superstitious. So I was here a couple of weeks ago after she won the sires. I think she had a couple of other races. We're like, no, she had races going in, so we didn't do it this way. She only won on Monday night, and I'm not sure what her commitments are. But from a trainer's point of view, you must be just absolutely wrapped with how she's progressing, and I reckon how she's flown under the radar for a lot of people in her journey so far.
Yeah, she's always been a good horse, Paul. You know, I've always said that I thought she was one of the better horses that we've had, but you know, being very fortunate to having Pat. Being understanding that we can just sort of protect her along. You know, we haven't over-raced her. You know, I don't know how many starts she's had now, but it's not a lot. But she's a 5-year-old mare now, and you know, knock on wood, she's never really had a major issue or anything. You know, we took a couple of chips out of a hock last year, but that's never bothered her since. And you know, so being a 5-year-old mare now, I guess it's probably time to get serious and see what she can do.
She had 34 starts, maybe 35, I can't remember actually exactly, but it's around that 16 wins.
Yep.
Which is a really imposing record. Breeders' Crown 2, 3 and 4-year-old. Was it Breeders' Crown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think she's the only horse that's ever done that. To win the whole lot. She won the Vic Bred final the other night for the 4-year-old mares, or going back, or New Year's Eve, wasn't it? Basically, it was when she won that as well. She flies under the radar because there's so many, especially these 4 and 5-year-old mares. They've just turned 5-year-old mares now. There's so many good ones around that get such. You talk about a horse like Dance Craze. This mare probably doesn't get held in that same regard. Yet her record is equal to a mare like that. Oh yeah,
this mare I've always sort of thought was more horse than sort of Dance Craze. You know, Dance Craze was obviously a great mare. She was so fast. She point-to-point speed was unbelievable. You know, and you know, when she won the Great Southern Star, that was about as good a run as I think I've seen for a while from a mare. You know, but this mare is just a different type of mare. You know, she's bigger, she's stronger. I think she can take on a little bit more air, and she's learnt to be a good racehorse now. You know, as a young horse, she was a bit all over the place, and as a lot of ours are. You know, they take a little while to sort of hit their straps, but I think now seems to be a lot more sort of complete. You know, she can sit in and settle, or she can lead, and you know, she's a bit more versatile now. So, yeah, she's developed into be a good racehorse.
Can I just ask you something you just said then, and it intrigued me. There's a couple of other questions I want to ask. Can take on a bit more air. Does it mean she can do a bit more work? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, she can see a bit more fresh air. She's, you know, like when I know.
I love it.
One start there, she sat parked and at Kilmore, and it was a really good field, and you know, she settled, and you know, Jack Law drove her that night, drove her a treat, and she ran away from him. You know, sitting parked, and that's probably the difference with her and sort of Dance Craze. Dance Craze was brilliantly fast, probably even faster than this mare, but she liked a bit of cover. This mare doesn't seem to bother her to do a bit of work, and you know, even the other night there at Ballarat, she took off probably around the 600, and she was 3 wide for a fair way, and it's a pretty hard track to come from behind there when you're wide off the track, so it was a good effort.
It is a very funny track, Ballarat. I like the track, so before the guys at Ballarat turn around.
Yeah, no, it's a good track.
Some trotters don't handle it, and especially some trotters. You see a lot of trotters get into trouble out 3 wide. They can get hanging and they can get labouring a little bit. So I think that was one of the key parts I really took out of her run. And you weren't sitting outside a duffer either. Like, that's the other part about it. Like, you were sitting outside some really quality horses.
Oh, it was a good field, you know, and there was a couple of really big runs in that race. You know, Mary Law was awesome. He was awesome the other night, and a couple of the comeback horses there, like King Liviana, she was real good. It was a good race. I thought Sundance Courage was really unlucky. He looked like he was loaded there.
Yep.
Had a heap of trot, but no, it was a good race. It was a good field, and you know, we were real happy with her.
She wears no gear. We're here in the harness room, but she wears no gear. It looks like open bridle, no head check, no noseband. Does have some ears, maybe. I'm not sure.
Just pop-out plugs, yeah, pop-out plugs.
No front boots.
No front boots. No. She's become so good gaited now. You know, as a young horse, she wore bell boots. You know, she's a little bit pacey in that as a young horse, but as she's gotten older, she's gotten stronger, and the gait's gotten better, and yeah, we've probably got it balanced up a little bit more now than we did as a young horse.
For the trotting purists out there, you're big on your shoeing. What sort of shoes does she wear?
She just wears a 9/16 half round in front and a 2-degree wedge behind her, so pretty basic.
So she wears, so effectively she's wearing nothing.
Yeah, basic shoes, nothing fancy, nothing major, nothing. Yeah, she sort of got it down on the bumper there once. So I put a little wedges on her and just a 2-degree wedge and just a half round in front.
We've got this dirty rotten virus that's created a few issues worldwide. Is she the sort of horse, though, like, I mean, this farm's always big on saying about going on and taking on the world. Is she the sort of horse that if everything was aligned properly, you'd be able to take on the rest of the world with her, like, or go overseas at least?
I think so, Paul. Like, I think especially against the mares, you know, I think she'd hold her own. You know, I think I've been lucky enough to sort of get around a little bit and have a little bit of an idea of, you know, what it takes, and I think she's given me a good enough feel to say that she could go there and be competitive. So, but you know, everything, as you said, everything's got to fall into place, all that sort of stuff, and she's got to travel well. You know, so but obviously, as you say, it's a dream of ours. Whether she's the right one, but I think she gives us the indication that she could be. Yeah.
The Mare Mile, the Aldebaran Park Mare Mile at Bendigo, it's one of those races that's, I suppose a lot of people put on that world stage, purely through great, what was his, I forgot his name all of a sudden, success, the Chris Finozio drive.
Yeah.
Anyway, they went to travel the world and didn't actually get to travel the world, but it was one of those ones that the rest of the world took notice of it because of the times and things like that. For her to be able to win that race, then come here and win the EV Cochrane, shows her adaptability, because I mean they're two totally different races. One is purely a speed race around one of the best tracks in Victoria, probably in Australia, especially for speed and for trotters, I think.
Yeah.
And then you come here and it's a much more tactical sort of race. That's where I think she wears bugger all gear. You know, she's got so many pluses to her arsenal, hasn't she? Where she seems like she'd be adaptable anywhere. Yeah,
well, that's you know, once again, like we've been lucky enough to sort of develop her along, you know, slowly, I guess, in a sense, you know. As a young horse, she was intractable. She was, you know, I think she galloped the first 5 starts, something silly like that, you know. She was a nightmare, but always felt she could go. But yeah, she's just developed into being a good racehorse. You know, it's a credit to the horse. She's quite sensible enough to take it all on and yeah, be a racehorse.
Sparkling Success was that horse.
That's him, yeah. Sparkling Success. He's a good horse.
Things leave my mind very easily, and they do come back. Would you travel with her? I mean, obviously at the minute, I'd say the answer is no, because you've got a young family, and with COVID and what it's doing, you wouldn't know if you got overseas and be able to get back. But is she the sort of horse that you'd like to have been able to have the opportunity to travel with? Yeah,
you know, it might be a case of we send her somewhere. Yep. You know, I'm not opposed to that. You know, obviously the world's a bit of a crazy place at the moment. You can't sort of just up and leave like you used to be able to, but yeah, you know, there's plenty of great trainers all over the world. There's no real trick to her, so I wouldn't be opposed to sending her somewhere, you know, whether she goes to Europe or the States. But you know, she's still got a lot to do here as well. You know, she's only 5, and You know, we've got a couple of big races coming up, and yeah, so we'll take it as it comes, I guess.
I asked a lot of questions of you and talk about lots of different things. You spent time in both America and in Europe. A horse like her, from an Australian point of view, like, you know, I watch her and say, oh yeah, she'd just go to Sweden or she'd just go to America. Where would she be best suited, like, because it is a different style of racing, like where would she be best suited, that sort of mare?
I think either.
Yep.
You know, I think the good ones are good. You know, the good ones in Sweden, for instance, they'd be good here, and it's vice versa, I think, you know. The same as America, you know. We had a little horse, Majestic Player,
yeah.
and he was a good horse here. You know, he won a Breeders' Crown as a 4-year-old and made 100 and something thousand, and I think he went to 54 at Menangle and done that easy with the plugs in, I think. And you know, we've sold him on to America, and he's won and been placed in some of their best races there, you know, and trotted in 51 or something up there. So, you know, I think the good ones are just good. As you see with the pacers, you know, a lot of our good pacers have gone up there and done a fantastic job. So, yeah, I think she's the sort of horse, as you said, she's pretty adaptable. You know, she can race over the mile or she can get the longer trip. So, either way, I guess either place she'd be okay, I think.
As a person that's been both sides, which racing do you prefer best, the European or the American? Or the Australian, actually. I'll give you a third. I just like racing, Paul. Like I like
racing. Good racing. Yeah, it's like the horse. I just like good horses. You know, it doesn't matter if they're trotters, pacers, thoroughbreds. It doesn't matter. For me, I appreciate good horses. I think I know how hard it is to get them, and you know what people have to go through to get them good horses. It's amazing. So, yeah, I just like good racing, good horses. It doesn't matter where it is. You know, I've been lucky enough to go to Hambletonian a bunch of times, and that's a fantastic race. I've been to the Elite Lop, it's a fantastic race, and the Prix d'Amérique, it's a fantastic race. You know, it's all of them races are just phenomenal races. It doesn't matter where you are. And it's the same here. You know, it's the same here with the Into Dominions and the Miracle Miles and the Derbies. I love the 3-year-old classic racing. That for me is probably my favourite. You know, like even in the States, the Hambletonian and the Trotting Classic, Canadian Trotting Classic, all them sort of races. And 3-year-old classic races for me is what I like the most.
I will only ask you 2 more questions, because otherwise you and I could talk forever. You've got to go to the trials. You said at 4 o'clock, so we could even still be here talking in front of it by then. But mares here, like I think it's you know, you said there before about Majestic Player, always ready. You've had some beautiful colts from here. You've still got some really nice colts here as well.
Yeah.
But your mares just seem to shine. When you're saying there about the Derby, you know, $1 won the Derby as a filly and the likes. Is it Anton Golino that clicks with the fillies, the property? Like, is there any reason you can see why you have, or is it just the breed and they are just such high quality mares?
Yeah, I think it's just you know, we're fortunate enough. Pat's bred some beautiful mares. You know, yeah. I don't really have a preference over colt or fillies. Like I said, just like good horses. You know, and majority of the ones that we keep are mares, so it's probably more so that than anything. I think, you know, of course we obviously retain them to breed them. We seem to have a lot more fillies and mares than colts, but you know, we've had a couple of nice colts, and we've probably got a few more at the moment than we've had before. You know,
one of my favourite Cravache, like
like a horse like Cravache d'Or, and I got a horse that I've got a lot of time for, a horse called Iron Love. I think he can be a very good horse as a 3-year-old. You know, he's a colt, and yeah, we kept a couple, you know, last year, but this year coming, you know, we've only got 4 fillies.
Yep.
We only kept 4 fillies. You know, obviously we're selling everything at the sales, and we ended up bringing home 4 fillies that we couldn't sell. So yeah, so going forward, I'd say we'd probably do more mares again.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus or anything like that. I watch racing. I watch stables. I think sometimes, and since I started doing this to promote people and be aware, I just think the mares You know, especially if you go back, you say about selling horses, you go looking for the yearlings, you know, Pizza Queens, those sort of horses. People forget like some of the quality fillies, and sometimes I wonder from the horseman's point of view, the way places are set up and the way they work, it seems to click sometimes. You know, you go across the road, Emma and Clayton, you'd say, oh, they're better stallion trainers than they are mares trainers.
Yeah.
Their mares record's sensational. But I mean, everyone hears the colts coming into the shed, like, and things like that. So, yeah, it's just one of those things I've just watched and noticed, and, you know, off the back of dance craze, and then you got a mare like this, it just, you know, it's one of those ones.
We've had some good, and like you said, you do forget about them, you know, like I until I picked up the yearling book there last year, you know, I forgot about horses like Aldebaran Eve and, you know, Pizza Queens, and you know, you forget about them horses. Even, you know, for instance, as good as she was, Umbella Lure, you know, like you sort of, but I guess that's just progression, you know, like once they're gone, they're gone. It's like racing, I guess, you know, once a race is over, it's over. I try and, you know, sort of focus on the next one, and sort of job's done, and bit of pressure off the shoulders and a bit of relief, and then you got to focus on the next one. Otherwise, you get left behind, you know. And but yeah, it's nice sometimes to sit down and have a look and say, oh yeah, I remember that one. You know, she was a good mare and won that. You know, Kinvara Sue's another one. Yep. That comes to mind. You know, she was a real good mare. You know, she was a great filly.
I encourage everyone to pick up the Nutrient catalogue and have a look. There's 25 yearlings. This wasn't part of the promo pitch, but yeah, some of those mares you guys have had are just sensational. I just like the way that they work. But I mean, for mine, this mare, I know Dance Craze probably always have a soft spot in yours, but you know, I don't know where this mare is going to end up. But she just seems to be so adaptable, and personally, I think she's very exciting.
Oh, she is. Yeah, she's a fun horse to have. You know, she's been a bit difficult, so it's been a bit challenging to get her right. But you know, I think we're heading in the right direction. And yeah, it's always nice to have good horses, Paul. That's why we do it, isn't it? You know, it makes the mornings a little bit easier to get out of bed and come in and see these ones, you know. So, you know, hopefully, knock on wood, she stays together and keeps it all going.
What is on the radar for her?
The Sudden Star, naturally, you know, that's you know, probably everyone's main target, I guess. After that, to be honest, you know, I know there's a couple of races, you know, in succession. Here in Victoria, I think there's a race in Sydney possibly. Yep. Miracle Mile time, we may go for that.
There's races like the Grand Prix and them coming up as well.
Yeah. There's every couple of weeks, you know, over the next couple of months, every couple of weeks seems to be a good one. So, we'll take it as it comes.
Something that I haven't seen you guys, you know, target or that, but like with the Inter-Dominion being in Melbourne this year later, it will be later this year, I'm presuming. Yeah. Is that something you would aim with her, or being a mare?
Yeah. No, like last year, she just wasn't the right horse for it. No. You know, I didn't, to be honest, just didn't have the right horse for it last year. You know, the 3 races in the week and in the 10 days or whatever it is. She was a 4-year-old, but she wasn't ready for that, you know. She could have brought her undone, I guess, if we went. So, you know, like I said, very fortunate, Pat.
Time.
You know, he understands that, you know, we can give him a little bit of time if we need to. So, but, you know, being here this year, her being 5, a couple of the others are going to, be a bit older and a bit more mature, hopefully we can have something to go around in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, I'll let you go. You got to go to the trials. I appreciate giving you time. As I say, I don't like to monopolise it. It's a bit the same with Cross the Road, Clayton and Emma. I don't like to monopolise those guys. You guys give me the time when you can, and try and mix it. Plus, I am superstitious as well, so I don't have a problem. She's got a fortnight to get the superstition out of the fortnight, 3 weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks. Yeah, I think it's the 4th of.
So we got that time to get that out of the way. So if anyone says, "Oh, why don't you go and do another chat with Anton?" Well, you just got to pick the times and make sure everything's right. And and from the pressure of the stable point of view too, you've got to have everything going right as well on the days when people rock up, because I guess one thing a lot of people don't realise, there is a lot of stress that goes on, and to sit back and have a happy little chat isn't always that easy, is it?
No. You have your good days and your bad days. That's horses, isn't it? Generally the bad days outweigh the good ones, but no, obviously it's no secret that we're not, working a big team like we were. I think we got 13 horses in work at the moment, so it's a big difference from sort of 80 when we're at our peak. I think we were doing about 87 horses, and you know, you always kept it between 50 to 60. So them days are sort of over for us. So it's a little easier now to do these sort of things.
Life balance it's one thing that gets spoken about a lot. People say about mental health and all the rest. You've got a young family. Is it a better life balance for you now? Less staff, 13 horses, and being able to go home to your family and spend some time with them than what it was probably back when you started and you had so many horses? Is this, are you a lot happier with this balance?
It's changed everything, Paul, for us. You know, having a family, it's the best blessing you can have, isn't it? You know, as you know yourself with a family. But it's, yeah, it puts a different perspective on everything. You know, from sort of staying here till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, shoeing horses 4 or 5 nights a week, you know, working 50, 60 horses, shoeing everything, and I couldn't do that now. You know, I couldn't do that, no chance at all. But yeah, you know, it's nice to be able to go home and you know,
back.
But you know, we still work hard. The farm's extremely busy. Between, you know, whether we're not doing in here, you know, there's always something going on, whether we're doing the stallions or yearlings or weaning or
it's a big farm too. So
you know, yeah, like there's always, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say we're less busy. We're definitely as busy as always, but it's just a different type of busy, I guess.
Right, mate. I'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it. I hope a lot of the trotting purists, they enjoy hearing from you, so I do appreciate it. But well done with her.
Thank you.
All the best for everything going forward, because I think, you know, for mine, she's as exciting a trotter as we've had on the radar, because she does seem to be that complete package. You know, when the stars and moons align, everything seems right. She's as good as any of them, and I think that's the excitement part about her.
No, thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
mate.
you.